Hello, geometry students, and welcome to the conclusion of the notes on pairs of angles. And we have two more problems left to do. Here it says the measure of one angle is 47 degrees less than the measure of its supplement. Okay? Find the measure of each angle. So we're talking about just some angle out there, and it's less than the measure of its supplement. Okay, so this word here, supplement, it basically just means that, it's another angle that's supplementary to it. Okay? And so this is a good example of when we want to draw these pictures out. Okay? So the measure of one angle. Okay? So let's say I have an angle, and I know, let me draw this one a little bit differently. I know very little about this angle. I don't know what the measure of it is. Okay? And I'm not going to name this angle per se. I'm just going to say that this is x degrees. Okay? And it is 47 degrees less than the measure of its supplement. Okay? Which means that there's another angle somewhere. It may or may not be attached to it. Okay? So if this angle here is the angle, and you have another angle that is 47 degrees less than this, so this would be, x minus 47 rather. Gosh, that's sloppy. Let me fix that here. So I'm just going to cross this out. Okay? I'm just going to say I have another angle somewhere out here that is 47 degrees less than that. So this is x minus 47 degrees. Okay? X minus 47 degrees. Okay. But these two angles add up to 180 degrees. Okay, so this is its supplement. Okay? So we can set up this equation then, that x plus x minus 47 equals 180 degrees. Okay? And now we just solve for x. X equals, this should be 2x minus 47 equals 180 degrees. Add 47 to both sides and we get 227 degrees. Then divide both sides by 2 and you get x equals 113.5 degrees. Okay? So this is one of the angles. That's what's represented here. The other angle is, of course, x minus 47. So that's 113.5 minus 47, which is 66.5 degrees. Okay, so these are the two angles. And how do we know that this is true? Well, 66.5 is less than 113, and the other way that we can check is to check if 113.5 plus 66.5 equals 180 degrees. Okay, is that true? And if it is, then you can say that, in fact, yes, this is correct. And it is. If you do the arithmetic, you'll see that it is correct. Okay? So this is a little bit tricky problem, but it involves us having to interpret some written information and representing it maybe in pictures or representing it algebraically. Okay? All right, let's move on here to our final example of the notes. Find the values of x and y. Okay. Well, now notice here we're solving for the variables this time. We don't have to worry so much about the measure of the angle itself. Okay. So looking at this picture, one thing that we can do is just pay attention to this pair of angles right here. So this angle right here, okay, that's the yellow angle, and let me pick a different color here. the same angle on the other side. Okay, right there. I'm not drawing it very neatly there. It's hard to draw this freehand, but you can see the two angles that we're dealing with. And the reason that I want to do that is because they use the same variable. If I compare these two angles, I can solve for the variable immediately. Okay, and you can see that this line right here, this yellow line and this blue line that I'm moving my pen on, they form a linear pair. Okay, you see that's a linear pair. So I have a linear pair along here. Okay? So I know that this one and this one adds up to 180 degrees. So I know that 25x plus 8 and 9x plus 2 will equal 180 degrees. Okay? So now I just do the arithmetic. 25x and 9x will give me 34x. 8 and 2 gives me 10. 34x. Subtract 10 from both sides, I get 170. Okay. And then divide both sides by 34. And I get x equals 5. Okay. And this is my final answer since I'm asked to find x and y. Okay. Well, that's good. We're done with x. Okay. Now, how do I figure out and solve for y? Well, to solve for y, what we're going to do now is just look at a slightly different setup. So I'm going to highlight this part right here. Okay. And then highlight a similar part, let's say this one here in red. Okay. So you see that the two angles I've highlighted there, that also forms a linear pair. So we have two linear pairs here. So now I can say with confidence that 7y plus 5 plus 25x plus 8 also equals 180 degrees. Okay. Now we're not able to just combine like terms like 7y and 25x. Those are different variables, so we can't combine them. But we do know that x equals 5, so we can make this substitution. 7y plus 5 plus 25, and instead of writing x, I'm just going to use 5. Okay. Remember, this x is equal to 5. Plus 8 equals 180. Okay? And now there's a bunch of arithmetic that I have to do. I have 7y. This is 5 plus 125 plus 8, so that's going to give me 138. Equals 180. Okay? Subtract 138 from both sides, and I get that 7y equals 42. Divide both sides by 7. Y equals 42. Okay? And be careful, do not write degrees on here. There's no degrees to this. These are just variables. Okay? So and we're asked to solve for the variables. So you see these two examples are a little bit different than the ones in the previous video. They require us to, first of all, interpret some text and then solve here for two different variables. But all of this goes back to what it means to have angles that are vertical angles, angles that are linear pair, and being able to recognize it either in the text or visually in what we see. So keep working on this, review your notes. If you have questions, you should jot them down and ask them in class, and your teacher will be happy to help you. Thank you for watching, and have a wonderful day.